Good evening, good evening, good evening. Welcome back to E20 Zone TV. I hope this mic's all right. I must admit. Hope everybody's all well out there in the world. It is Thursday. Yes, the weekend is fast approaching and misery in the West Ham camp. Before I get started on this video, it's going to be like a little live Q&A. Anyone who wants to have their say, chuck it the comment section. And yeah, just, have your say on current affairs at West Ham United. It hasn't been good over the last 24 hours. That sort of link to Bilic. Yeah, I don't know about that one, mate. I really don't. I don't know whether that one's wise. PA and Jack says, evening, no Bilic. Yeah, no, I think no one wants Bilic at the minute, mate. I'm not going to lie. I don't blame him. And I don't want to see him dragged into the firing line of this West Ham mess that is currently being sort of served up. I see something earlier on TalkSport, and I don't mind Simon Jordan. I really don't. I think Simon Jordan's all right. I think he can come across as a bit arrogant, but nevertheless, I think he's all right. He mentioned about Sullivan and about sort of the way the West Ham fans are acting currently right now. Honestly, Simon, I think you've got this massively wrong, mate, if I'm being truthfully honest. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, you're criticising the fans for wanting a change and having 10 years of this man, 15 years in total, and you're having a go at us, like making out that we're the problem. And I knew it. I knew the media would try and spin this around. I really did. I could see it coming a mile off in regard to that. And, when it comes to sort of West Ham as a whole, we shouldn't be really in this situation in the first place. But Sullivan's put us in this situation. Now, obviously, today, about Bilic, that feels like to me that's a bit of a PR spin. West Ham manager out of work, you put two and two together, you come up with that. I'm not buying it at all. Yeah, I think the board are really scrambling to try and get this fan base on side, and I think they've actually lost near enough everyone. I think there's still a few people that will go and be customers to them, and they really will. But nevertheless, I do feel that some of them have lost hope, lost faith, lost a bit of heart with West Ham, and a lot, very much so, which is a real shame. It is a real shame, but it is what it is on that. So we'll see if anyone got any questions and all that they want to put in, and by all means, I'll read them out. I don't want Slav getting dragged into the mess. We need Sullivan and Brady out, even to get this club back on track. We need someone who can manage the squad for player ability and not favourite. Yeah, mate. Yeah, I agree with you. I agree. Got someone in there called Slaven Bilic. That's the same one who's David Sullivan. You know what I mean? But it is what it is. I've got it on a lock on the chat, so I know who's who. And when you start changing names, I know who you are. So there you go, mate. It is what it is. What did you make of the statement which came out late last night from West Ham? I thought it was a joke. I thought it was a real joke. I thought it was embarrassing from West Ham to sort of gaslight this fan base into a sort of sense of, basically, oh, what we're going to do is we're just going to tell you that you've got to accept it for what it is. Yeah, I don't really buy that one. I really don't. But we will see. Wait there 1 second. Bosh. Right, back in the room. Multitasking, people, multitasking. So as I say, anything you want to say, chuck it in the chat and we'll have a discussion about it. Right, I forgot to do something. Iron's analysis, that statement last night, just tells me that they're on the ropes and they know it. The walls are caving in. I think so, mate. I think so. I think that statement proves a lot of things. If I speak honest truth, it tells me that they are running out of people to sort of blame. right now, which is a problem for them. I think they're running out of ideas of how to sort of solve this situation, and I think they're running out of media. I think their media, the media situation with them currently right now is basically a bit on ropes, if I'm being truthfully honest, which I'm quite happy about. I'm not going to lie, because I don't think they are doing themselves any favours whatsoever. And I think they're fearful. If you want me to be truthfully honest, I think they're absolutely fearful. And I think they're worried because they know that this fan base can't be sort of lied to anymore. Have you heard Brady and Noble apparently have shown an investor around? Now, listen, I'm going to get to that comment, yeah? I'm going to get to that comment because I swear it is very convenient that last night I do a space, right? And this is the gospel truth, what I'm about to say. I do a space last night and we have a few gentlemen who come on and basically they start talking about the gold shares. Then all of a sudden today, someone's been like showing Karen Brady and Noble's been going around and showing fucking off gold shares basically. I don't believe it, mate. Trust me. Like I noticed something last night in her space that I was doing last night. I thought, I bet this comes out in the morning, right? And one day I'm going to say this. One day I'm going to put something in that space, yeah, as bait, and I'm going to see if they cotton on. And if you do cotton on to this, right, in that space, I will expose you quite openly. Do you know what I mean? So don't take me for a cunt, right? Because I'm not one, and I will figure out who it was. But there was definitely something last night in regards of gold shares. We spoke about gold shares, and then now it's come out today. So is what it is. Right, let's get Damien in. Damien, what do you want to say, mate? Take it away.
Yo, can you hear me? Yeah, you
Loud and
there?
clear, mate. Take it away. Yep.
I'm gonna keep it. I'm gonna keep it football. Yeah, I'm gonna keep it football. First of all, just touching on the board, I do think they're showing absolute levels of incompetence at the moment, and I do say this right. People say show ambition. I don't think it's ambition. I think it's competence. I feel like there's been times where they've been overly ambitious. I feel like there's been times they've not been ambitious enough, and I think they fail to find the healthy middle ground. I feel like they done too much last summer. I
Right.
feel like they didn't do enough this summer, but I'm going to keep it football. I don't think Slaven Bilic would be a good appointment. I think it would be an extremely poor appointment, in my opinion. Here's the thing, right? And I know this is kind of we had a discussion about this in the summer. Um, the biggest thing they did this summer is overlook the need for a striker. If you brought a striker into this team who could stretch teams, you would have given Somerville and Bowen more space to operate and the likes of Paqueta or Fernandez more to play towards.
Right.
If I was West Ham, my game plan would be to try and manage the team well up until January. And by hook or crook, in January, you sign a centre forward. Now, pre warning, teams don't like giving up centre forwards in January. So you're going to have to be extremely intelligent and probably overpay in terms of recruitment. You're going to have to find a team that, one, you can afford their striker, two, their season is in a place where they would probably prefer the money than the striker, and you might have to pay through the nose. I don't trust the quality of this side to stay up necessarily. I feel
Right.
like I feel like there is a real lack of goal threat. I feel like there's going to be an over dependence on the likes of Somerville and Bowen to produce, and I think there's a lot of things that Potter is showing naivety towards. All you fans who want possession-based models, all this kind of lovely stuff that they talk about, well, you've seen the possession-based model. This is what it's getting you, bro. This is what it's getting you. On the deck, front foot, here we are. Here we are. So if that's what you're after, you've got it. This is what it is at the moment.
Yeah, but I don't think this is all on Potter, mate. If you want me to be real.
No, me neither.
Yeah.
I don't
right.
think it's all on Potter.
And I feel like, listen, don't get me wrong, he's fucked up in games. Yeah, and I can sort of go with that all day long. I thought he fucked up against Spurs in the second half when he knew that it wasn't working. Yeah, granted, I can sort of understand that. Yeah, but this is more like we've got a more deeper rooted problem than just on the pitch. This is where it's affecting West Ham on the pitch with what's happening off the pitch. Do you know what I'm saying? You got a fan base is split massively, but one thing I will say with the fan base that is split into two sections. It's the fan base versus the ownership. This is what we're seeing right now. Right, we are fighting against this owner, and we will win, right? Because he ain't going to be able to sustain this situation. He just ain't going to work for him. Yeah, he's going to run out. He's going to run out of patience. It all depends on us, but I think one thing with us currently right now is we're all pulling in the same direction. I thought that statement last night was embarrassing. I really did. Right, this is a club, and I'm going to mention a few things about it. Yeah, saying about the stadium that we should be happy to be in there, and it ain't as bad as what people make out. But it's been ranked out of 94 grounds in the UK. I think it is. It's the 90th worst ground in the UK, right? And they're telling us that this is fine, this is acceptable, and it's just the lies. It's just the lies, right? This is what it is. I don't think any manager changes this right now, and I think we're in a situation where they're going to have to buckle under the pressure quick, because it's do we get to sort of December and we're looking at this and going, right, we might have to hold off because basically we could be going down. That's the problem.
Yeah, just touching on a couple of things you said. Stadium, yeah.
Right.
First time I ever walked into that stadium, James. Yeah. Now I was a season ticket at Upton Park. I didn't follow through with the whole kind of Olympic stadium experience. I think it was more like an age thing, different responsibilities, etc. But I was a season ticket holder at Upton Park, but have been to the Olympic Stadium sporadically. Yeah.
Right.
The very, very first time I ever walked into that football stadium, bro, I swear to God, I said to myself, unless this stadium has a functional, proper, good quality football team representing it, they are going to struggle. If you can put a decent little squad in that in there, who are gonna win as much as they lose, who are gonna contest every ball, who are gonna score some goals, who are not gonna often get battered, it'll be all right. But to be honest, given how little outgoings that there are in terms of resourcing that stadium for the board, that needs to be the minimum requirement for them. They can't go into seasons like this and being like, oh, we haven't really got a great striker option. No, every single season you go into that stadium, you need to have a complete outfit. You just cannot allow that to happen, because the thing is with us, James, yeah, our bad moments are amplified because of that stadium. And unfortunately, our moments are not amplified by being in that stadium. So it's down to the board to make sure that there is a solid outfit going in there to represent the stadium. That means a solid 11 and a nice bit of squad depth so you don't get found out. I don't think we have that at the moment, and I think, I did say to you when we were talking, when that time when elite analyst jumped on as well, or I jumped on with elite analyst.
Right.
Watch out for walkouts. I said, watch out for walkouts next season because one, I don't think the football that Potter is producing is going to generate enough atmosphere, and two, I don't think the board have done enough to resource a football team that are gonna produce a high quality enough brand of football to generate the atmosphere.
Yeah, but what they've done, they've gambled. They've gambled at the casino and they've lost. Like they thought by getting rid of Moyes, yeah, it would shut everyone up, right? And I am going to say this: some of the fan base need to have a look at themselves because they were screaming for change, and they got change, but they didn't. They forgot who run the club, yeah, and they were so gassing up Steiden and thinking Steiden was going to change the game for West Ham, and he was never going to be he was never going to have the full control to change the game ever. You've also got the problem where you've got an owner now, in my opinion, who is just sitting on his hands and just waiting for this club just to basically he's waiting to get his hands on that stadium. That's the thing. He needs that stadium and he's going to wait and he's going to bide his time. The problem is with all the noise that's happening right now. Yeah, this noise is getting louder. It's getting more consistent. It's getting through. Right. This situation that we're currently in right now is getting through more than I've ever seen it. Right, like it's actually making waves. It's getting onto sort of mainstream media consistently over and over again. Yeah, it's not good. Let's get to angry as usual. If Sullivan wants us to see the stadium, he sees it. He needs to. He needs to do is get us there in a chauffeur Rolls Royce and a nice seat in the director's box with a complimentary caviar. That's it. Then it's equal. I think I think Sullivan. I think Sullivan's back is firmly against the wall now. If you like, I don't see how he recovers from this situation. Right. If you ask me right now, what's going to hit harder, the protest or the boycott? I think the boycott's is going to absolutely like put a dent in it. Do you know what I mean? Because if people start boycotting games and then you've got loads of empty seats, whether they've been paid for is irrelevant. It doesn't look good on the Sky cameras, and it don't look good for West Ham United's brand if you've got a ground that is empty. Because that's what it is. That's what's coming.
I agree. If people are protesting, it's like, oh, look at these like overly passionate fans. If people do take the stance of not attending the stadium, it says we're not supporting this anymore. So I do agree with you. Which one would be more impactful?
Yeah, I do, mate. Anything else, Damien? That's on your mind? Let it all out, son.
Yeah. One last thing. I'm not calling people out, but I just see a video, right? And this notion of putting Slaven to the agenda, yeah, or
Right.
putting Slaven into the setup, being presented as some temporary way to appease the fans. No, 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 no. No. What you need to realize is the manager change and people's perception of how the club has been run are two separate things. You can't merge the two things together right now. They're two separate things you need to be looking at. Can I improve or replace? Can I improve on Potter is one thing. How you run the club generally is a second thing. Throwing Slaven Bilic into the mix is not an answer for both. In my opinion, it's not an answer for one, but it's not an answer for both. So there was a particular YouTube channel today who tried to kind of merge it to say, well, we'll bring Slaven Bilic in and that will keep everyone happy on a temporary basis to show that the board are listening to the fans. The manager situation and the way that the club has been run are two separate things. And putting the plaster of Slaven Bilic over it it's not. Cutting
Listen,
it. West Ham.
if Slaven Bilic comes back to West Ham, I'm going to be fucking fuming. Simple as that.
I'll back him, but I don't think it's a good idea. I'll
No,
back him, but I don't think it's a good idea.
I think it's fucking outrageous. If we go and bring Slaven Bilic in,
So do I.
but well, I think it's basically what they're doing is they're trying to find the last result to get this fan base on side. That's what it is. And for me, right, Slaven Bilic is not the guy. That is miles backwards. He failed at Watford. He hasn't been in a job for a while, and he thinks he can. Like, he's just going to roll in here and thingy. If you want to go and get someone, who's young, up and coming, worked with a decent managers before. Go and get Craig Bellamy. Craig Bellamy is Wales' manager. Yeah, he's worked with Vincent Company. Why are we going for Slaven Bilic? There's only one reason why we're going for Slaven Bilic right now, right? And that is to appease the fans. Yeah, that's not to make West Ham great or West Ham to be better off in the future. I'm not buying it. I'm not buying it. And if he turns up at West Ham, I'm going to be fuming because it'll just be another PR stunt. Another sort of name to come in and just be a name, right? And as an ex-player, do you know what I mean? You'd be better off going and getting DeCanio in here, right? If you want to go down the route of bringing ex-players in, go and get fucking DeCanio in here, right? Because I know for a fact that it would kick off massively, right? If Billy comes back, I'm just not on it. I'm just not on it. But I believe it's just bollocks. If you want me to be truthfully honest, I don't believe it all. You know what I'm saying?
I hope so. Like I said, I'll leave it here. Yeah, 17th highest generators of football relying on PR stunts. Not good enough. Golden Sullivan and Brady. Not good enough. It's you're being found out. It's embarrassing, and people need to start making better decisions. Like I said, I don't think I don't put it down to ambition. I put it down to competence. So sort it out.
No worries at all, mate. Take it easy, Damien. That's been Damien. Listen, I'm going to say this, yeah. If Slaven Bilic turns up at West Ham, that's fucking embarrassing to us, don't it? Like, let's be brutally honest. And I just feel like, and I agree with what Kane says. Kane, if you're back, come on, mate, if you want, right? Bilic 15, 16 has been largely poor, even if you accept he had a crap conditions at most clubs. Makes little sense other than to hype 60, 80 IQ fans. It's a hype job. That's all it is. It's a hype. It's because they're reeling and they don't know which way to turn. It wouldn't surprise me if DeCanio gets linked with the job, right? Paolo DeCanio coming on a temporary basis, or Harry Redknapp, or like whether Lampard, whether Bilic, whether all sorts of crap. The only people that we want out of this club are the ones that own it, and I don't think they realise how in depth this is currently right now. Let's get to Ian Moore. How about the new investor apparently shown around the club today? Timing spot on or coincidental? Ian, I'm going to say this, mate. I done a space last night. No word of a lie. It was mentioned on a space as just lads, right, speaking. Then today that comes out. There is definitely someone in the West Ham community who is making false rumours. I'm telling you. And on my art, right? I swear on the cross. Yeah. Someone's lying. Because I'll tell you what happened last night. Yeah. I do spaces on X. I done one last night, obviously to get people's reactions and thoughts on the statement. Yeah. Done one. And it was quite a good space. It was quite a calm space last night. A lot of people on, and then we started talking about the future of how it will be perceived in the future and how things will go. And gold shares were mentioned on the space. Then all of a sudden today, yeah, it comes out that someone's been shown around and sort of seen about gold shares. That is someone who's a rat. Like, and I agree with what Irons TV says there. There's someone in the camp that is basically listening to any spaces or listening to any media and just turning it in a way that benefits them for clicks and views. That's all I can say. I can't say any more than that, right? And I swear, right? I've done this. I wish I would have recorded it, because what I would do, I would edit it up and I would show it to people on here. I don't believe a word of it, right? It's ironic that like there's protests coming up and the gold shares are going. But last night we were speaking on the space about it and just thinking outside the box, really, like thinking what's going to happen in the future. Then today that comes out. I think it's just a load of shit, if I'm being truthfully honest. But big up my guy there. Big up Zone Man. Big up Zone Man, E20 Zone, and smash a like and subscribe to the channel. Show some love. Shout out to that guy, man. 100% love. I agree with that. We've got a rat in the fan base. I'm telling you, mate, there has to be. I've seen it too many times, right? When things are said on spaces, and then all of a sudden, the very next day, there's a link come out. Dear, PA and Jack are saying, rat, that's X or Sean then. Biggest blaggers online, made a living from bullshit. I don't care who it is, mate. I don't care who it is. All I know is that last night we was talking about it and we wasn't even thinking about the gold shares, because not many people do, if I'm being honest. That is why I know that last night someone was listening onto that space, jumped on, right, and then basically today have made up something in regards of feedback. Are you saying your spaces are the bees? I'm not saying anything, mate. All I'm saying is that I'll allow anyone to speak on any platform that I do. Do you know what I mean? If it's on TikTok, allow everyone on here, anyone on. Like, anyone can come on now. Like, the link's in the chat. You want to come on, have you say about West Ham United's current situation? Like, the link's there. Come on. But I do believe someone was in that space. I've got an idea who it is. I'm not going to mention it on here, but I've got a fucking very much good idea, because I noticed something last night when I was doing the space. I thought, this person ain't in here usually, and then today that comes out. So, it is what it is. Chuck your comments in. Let us know what you think about current affairs. Anything you want to ask me, you're more than welcome to ask us, and I will try and relay it back as fast as I can. Short-term solution to try and appease the fans. Completely agree with M5 Hammer there. 100%. 100%, mate. Don't get me wrong. I don't have a problem with Bilic. I would love the guy. However, it just shows how cheap Sullivan is and just wants a cheap option. It's not acceptable, mate. Like, listen, Bilic has done his time, yeah? And I don't think it's right that we go from one to another. We are becoming like Watford at the minute, just darting around from manager to manager. Like, if we carry on going, we'll end up being like Watford. Listen, West Ham United fan, what do you want? I'll tell you what I want, mate. I want a structure that is progressive each year. Yeah, I'm asking for a top 10 finish, which I don't think's out the realms of possibility with the size of the squad that we've got, with the finances that we have got, and size of the club, size of the ground, the money generated. I think top 10 finish is a doable thing. And I want to see a team that I'm proud of. I don't really feel like this is a team to be proud of at the minute. It's very mixed up, but I just don't know. He said who, James? I don't know what you mean about that, but yeah, fair enough. The protests starting in different direction. The meeting at the Carpenters at 1 o'clock is confusing to me. Yeah, well, is what it is on that, isn't it, man? A stadium we can call home. That's what I want. I completely agree. I completely agree. I said, who do I want? Who do I want? I don't know, mate. For me, Bellamy would be a great shout. because if like he's a sort of manager that is progressive, I think he's going to do good things. I don't want Bilic. I think Nuno is a walking disaster waiting to happen. I think he'd be all right at the start, and then he'd fall apart, and then we have to get rid of him. Diach, no. Bellamy would be the one for me. Right, I think Bellamy would be a great manager for West Ham. I've always said that I fancy him to do the job, if that makes sense, and I think he would enjoy it. I don't think we'll get Silva, but it is a nightmare whoever comes in. Like he's just he's just took the words out my mouth. So yeah, is what it is on that. Let's get to this one. My answer would be Nuno. Now Mourinho's gone. I generally think anything else is stick. Yeah, it ain't good, mate. Let's get to PA and Jack. Team playing with passion, fear no one, top 10, cut run. That's where we should be for our size. Yeah, I don't think it's that hard to. Well, one thing with West Ham fans, we're not hard to please. But one thing that I've noticed is you can't consistently take the piss out of us, because if you do that, then you ain't going to win. Let's have a look. What else we got here? Anyone is a plaster patch up job until the summer. Do you reckon he would get the sack though, Potter? Right, anytime soon? Because I'm going to be honest, I don't think I think Potter will survive this sort of situation. I think he's here to the end of the season. I don't think he's going to get the sack unless it gets that bad from the sidelines in regard to the fan base. Yeah, that they have to go, you know what, we're going to have to sack him to try and calm this situation down. I just think he's collateral damage myself. I really do. They talk about ambition. It's Slaven Bilic ambition. I completely agree, mate. That I'll tell you what, Rich. Like last night, when I read them sort of little bullet points, because I've done the video last night, and I was quite pleased with how that video come out. Well, I'll be honest. And they mentioned about ambition and how they feel and all that. That to me is just the biggest insult, along with the stadium, for me. Like, how can you say that you're ambitious, but every time that you go and get a manager, you're never getting a manager for the long term. You're getting a manager for the here and now. Every single time. It's ridiculous. Let's get to Thomas. Just paid the money and got Iola. That shows ambition. See, that's a shout. Great comment there from Thomas. Shout out to that guy. He ain't gonna do it, is he? Like it's a bit like with Bellamy. He ain't gonna do it with Bellamy. And as Ian says there, he won't get Bellamy. James, he has to pay for a manager. That's the problem. Like anyone that we get is always going to be someone who's out of work every single time. So it is just such a pain in the fucking arse, the geezer. But I'm going to use my little gadget. Let's have a look. There you go, people. Smash a like on the video. There you go. Do you know what I mean? I'll leave that there for now. Do you know what I mean? It's a little gadget thing. Do you know what I mean? Trying to get me way in the YouTube world. Do you know what I'm saying? Right, let's get to Colin. Shout out to you, Colin. I hope you're well, mate. James, if we are going to buy a manager, have a contract, my number one would be Iola. That would be ambitious. But the problem is, are we an attractive proposition right now for someone? Well, for someone to come to. Do you know what I mean? We're just not. And who's really going to want to work for Sullivan? That's another thing that people have got to understand is not many people are going to want to work for Sullivan at all. So, my question to Sullivan is why the fuck does he not like paying for managers when he literally just is using the club's money and not his own? That's a good question. You know that is like that's a valid question. He's never done it, mate. He's never bought someone out of a contract ever, and I don't understand why he hasn't done it. I really don't. I feel like he feels that it's dead money, that he's throwing money away just to buy someone out of a contract when basically he can go and get someone who can come in and do the role and save that money. He's a saver, isn't he? Fucking hell. And don't we know it? Let's get to Evan. The training ground investment is absolute BS. They think sustainability is important, lie after lie. Oh yeah, that's another thing that they said last night, which I'm gonna be honest, I had to laugh. Yeah, and obviously I'm trying to do the video. I've done one take of the video and I had to cut it because I was like, nah, mate, I can't put that. I was fucking laughing. It was when they turned around and said about, well, at least we've kept you in the league for the last 13 years. And I was like, but isn't that what you're supposed to do? Like, when you're a new owner right, of a club, I would have assumed the bare minimum would be to keep you in the league. Right, let's keep West Ham in the league for crying out loud because we don't want to get relegated. And they're making out that that's like they've done us a favour. Do you know what I mean? It's mental, absolute mental. 10 million for a manager, but happy to waste 30 million on Vlasic. Yeah, mate, I know. It's getting that bad. Dig up John Lowell. Bloody hell, mate. Yeah, freaking hell. It's getting that bad. I'm surprised Mark Noble hasn't even been mentioned. You know that, right? I'm surprised that like Mark Noble hasn't even been mentioned for the position. And the thing is, it's just in one way, I want Potter to succeed because I don't think any of these managers, other than Nuno, could be on par or better. I don't think Dyche is better than him. I don't think Slav's better than him. I think the Slaven Bilic thing is just propaganda in his highest form. And yeah, and this link to basically the gold shares, I am going to monitor it on my spaces from there on. And if I catch anyone in there who's basically promoting fake like propaganda, I am going to fucking call them out big time because I know for a fact that that's fake. Right, I know it. I'll have every pound, pence, and cent of everything I've got on it that's fake news, 100%. Because it's so ironic that I do a space last night at 12 o'clock midnight, goes round to about 12:30, 1:45, and then the next thing I hear in the morning, and when I read it earlier on, I'm going to say this quick before I let Oliver come on a 5 minute share. When I read it earlier on, and I read like people like sharing it on X and everything, I looked at it and I thought that is definitely from that space, 100%. It has to be, and yeah, 100% is, mate. I swear, if I fucking catch him, I will say that. Oliver, welcome, mate. What do you want to say?
Right, I just want to start off by saying I think that Slaven Bilic thing is bullshit. I don't think that will happen. I wouldn't mind if it would happen because after all, we had that one good seat last season at Upton Park, but I just don't think it'll happen. It's such I don't know. It's just not a Sullivan thing to do. A Sullivan thing is to go out there, find a free manager such as Mourinho or Nuno, or we were looking at Ange at some point, and
Yeah,
I just laughed when we were looking at Ange. I was just like, Ange doesn't change his tactics. He was the reason Spurs lost 6-3 to Liverpool.
well,
and nothing changed because he didn't change his tactics. And we all want a manager who can put out the right lineup, who, if they're 2-0 down, they can change their tactics and turn it around. And Ange does not bring that to the table. I haven't had much experience with Bilic because last time he managed West Ham, I was young, and I just can't see us getting any other manager but Mourinho or Nuno.
I feel if he goes for Slaven Bilic, I feel that this club is dead. Right, and I'm gonna be honest. Yeah, I love this club like you and like everyone else, right?
Yeah.
But if you're going down the Slaven Bilic route, then you're just not a serious owner. You're just not. You're looking at us, and what you're doing is you're doing an appointment because you know the heat is firmly on you, right? What people should be saying, and this is what I believe what people should be saying, and this is what I would be saying is, I don't want Slaven Bilic. I want Iola. I want Bellamy. I want someone who is going to be a long-standing manager. If Potter's not the guy, if Potter's not the
Yeah.
guy, and you don't, no one believes in Potter or whatever, fine.
Yeah.
Then you go and get someone who is basically going to change the game for West Ham in a positive aspect. I don't believe it. I don't believe it, mate. I really don't.
I don't think anything. Okay, yes, a manager will change the first team news and James Ward-Prowse not starting, sort of thing. But I think not even bloody Pep Guardiola can fix this club. Or
True.
not. I don't even think Prime Sir Alex Ferguson can fix this club. It's all about the ownership, and I don't believe in Potter, and I'm not a big Potter supporter. But as I said, I backed him until I think I backed him in that 1-0 where we won against Arsenal, where everybody was doubting him. I said, no, this will be the guy to get us through the last bits of the season. I had faith in him, but now I've just lost it. He started James Ward. I don't think he's ever taken that Spurs game where he didn't take James Ward-Prowse off. I think I spoke after the game. That was just, who does that? I think
West Ham's manager, mate. That's what it is. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, and like I said, I don't have much experience with Bilic because I wasn't. If I'm being honest, I wasn't my dad's big West Ham supporter. I support this club because of him,
Right.
and I actually want to experience the atmosphere that Upton Park was because I actually never got to experience it.
Before I say this, right, and then I'm gonna have to let you go, right?
Yeah.
With Bilic, it ended sour with him to a point, but the Upton Park era and the final season at Upton Park, that's why I don't want him here. I don't think you bring a geezer back who you're basically bringing back because you've got the fan base all over you. The fan base all over Sullivan now. And as I've been saying on here, anyone who's followed this channel for a long time, I've always said the only way you're going to get through to him is through the media, and the media is absolutely ripping him a new one. And that's what it is. That's what it is. If you go for Bilic, and we not only that, if we accept it, I feel like it's done. I feel like it's done. I will basically say that when it's not a serious club anymore, just not. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I don't think I have. Before I go, I don't honestly. If we get, obviously, you guys have been supporting West Ham for a good 10, 20 years or whatever, and I was supporting maybe 2019 because that's when I got into football,
Right.
and I haven't seen much of Bilic. All I've seen of Bilic was the last final game at Upton Park. That's all I've seen of him. I don't really have an opinion on getting him or not, but I'm just going to have to see what happens. But I think most West Ham fans know what they're in for.
Yeah.
Well, when Bilic comes.
I agree. Right. Give us a score line for Saturday. What you saying?
I think 3-1 Palace.
3-1 Palace. God dear. Oliver, I'll let you go, mate. Take it easy. Peace. That's been Oliver having his little say. I'll get to Iron's analysis there on that comment. If Sullivan was smart, he would now spend money and go and try and get Silva out of a contract. Silva is the one and the only decent Premier League manager who actually possibly come if we come knocking. I don't know about that though, mate. I don't know. All right, I really don't. Because I look at I look at what Fulham trying to do, and I look at what we're trying to do, and it's night and day. I think one thing I will say, whatever happens with Potter, because it does seem like Potter is walking a tightrope now. Do you know what I mean? It's only a matter of time before he falls off that tightrope. It's going to be interesting to see, because if Nuno turns it down, or Nuno wants to go or gets a better offer or anything, I don't think there's many options out there. And I think they know that and all, right? They can't go and sack Potter and go all in on a manager that they might not get. That's another situation which could materialise. Interesting question, this one. Bilic in to Canio's assistant. It'd be mayhem. And I know for a fact that Canio would have them literally up against the wall if they weren't performing. I just think we need someone who's young, up and coming, and who can sort of understand the modern game. I think that's where we're going wrong. With Potter, he's very woke in what he's doing, well, as in football wise. I know what Christie's saying there about Deitch, but I think Deitch is another fucking Moyes to a point. Do you know what I mean? And if you're gonna like threaten to get Moyes out the door, which fine, it is what it is. Deitch won't last long, not with this fan base. I will say that. Let's have a look, see what else you got there. I'm nearly 40 years old, and I feel old. Well, I'm only 2 years younger than you, mate. So you know what I mean. I've had a hard paper round, son. I will say that. You know what I'm saying? Zidane for me. He wouldn't be going. Who ain't going to do as they're told? We ain't getting Zidane, mate. We've got more chance of Xavi than Zidane. Right, what else we got here? Let's have a look. I will get to Ian. Ian's comment in a minute. Deitch would be fine after Pellegrini, not now. Yeah, I completely agree, mate. Fucking imagine that. We've gone from Moyes to fucking Lopetegui to Potter to now fucking Deitch. I can't remember. And the last time we had a young manager, right? This is a trivia question for you, right? When was the last time we had a young? Like, who's the youngest manager that we've had? Like, is it Pardew? I think it's got to be Pardew or Zola. It's got to be one of them two dads. Yeah, I don't think it's Kerbishley, right? That's a point. I'd rather have Kerbishley back here than fucking Bilic to a point. I mean, and even that's saying something. Another load of shite put out by the club, and there was potential buyers for gold shares shown around today. Mark, I've discussed it earlier on, mate, and I'm going to be honest. I think it's bollocks. And I'm not just saying it, to be negative or anything like that. I'm not. But I done as I said to the people who's been here previous, right? I done a space last night. We mentioned about gold shares. We was going quite in depth with it, how it would work out, what would happen, probate, everything. Then today a story comes out. Right, I'm telling you, right, it's either that's ironic or someone's lying, someone's been a rat in the fan base. I've actually got a funny feeling. I know it is, and I'm not particularly happy about it. Yeah, but this person's got a huge platform, and if I go fully in, it's going to backfire on me. So I'm going to leave it, but I am going to do something in the future where I will fucking flush this fucker out. And when I do, then I will expose him, and I won't care. But last night we was talking on a space about it, about obviously gold shares, and today the news comes out. It's very like coincidental is the word I'm looking for. X just posted saying someone told he's about it. What's he said, mate? What are they saying? Let me know. Give it to me. Give it to me, lads. Come on. Let's be having it. Steve Tilley, hope you're well, mate. If Potter starts with James Ward-Prowse and Rodriguez, he should be sacked at kickoff. I don't think he's going to start with that, mate. I think Magassa comes in. So, you know. Xavi is out of contract. Get him in, mate. Get him in. Get him in midfield at this fucking rate. Do you know what I mean? We're going to need something. Right, where's Ian's comment? It was here just a minute ago. Ian, where are you? Where's Ian's comment gone? There you go. Right here, Ian. McKenna James is only 39 and on United's radar. I was up in Suffolk last week and obviously come back today. I speak to a few Ipswich Town fans, and they are adamant that he ain't going nowhere. And there's a clause in his contract of some note to basically say that if he can go, but I think it's like 20 million or something. Yeah, so I don't think McKenna's going anywhere. And when I see that the other day, right, and he was at the ground, at times I've heard that over the last 4 years with a manager being at a ground and then people putting two and two together and coming up with fucking 10. Yeah, not for me. Just for the record, both stories I put out today have not come from David Sullivan. He isn't speaking to me or anyone else. It's come from people who have nothing to do with Sullivan. Right. And then West Ham United fan who's been an absolute hero tonight, I must admit. And people who have told me things correctly recently, whether either if it amounts to anything, who knows? But that's the truth. Well, whoever's told him that is lying. Simple as that. Because it's funny how I do a space last night. I have about 100 people in the space, and today is what it is. There's some really toxic people in the West Ham YouTube community, I've noticed. Who have you noticed, mate? I hope I'm not one of them. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, amount of shit I do get, though. I'm going to be honest. I'm quite one of the placid ones. I really am. But fuck knows why I get loads of shit. I'm going to let Jem come in 1 minute and have her say. Let's get to Richard's comment. I'm going to try and get through these comments quick. James, what do you think of them using Kadinsky's 200 million investment to say they've spent loads on transfers? It's just shit, isn't it, mate? Let's be honest. It is just shit. But what more can I say? Like, do you know what I mean? And the thing is, I had a comment the other day from someone who's like a regular subscriber, and he said to me, he said, "Oh, it ain't just you been saying it; other people have been saying it, right?" And I was like, "Fine, yeah, they have been saying it, but I never got gaslit when fucking people were saying about Steidon, right? And what Steidon was going to do. And this is just 18 months of pure hell with West Ham in regards of picking a manager, picking a playing style, picking a squad, and trying to actually win games of football. That's where the problem is. Right, let's get Gemma in. She's probably got a lot to say. Gem, welcome.
Hello, mate. You okay?
I'm all good, mate. What do you want to say about current affairs at West Ham United?
Oh, what more can we say that we haven't already said? But I will say this: that letter from the club yesterday rattled me. I was so wound up because I was reading it and I was like, lie, that's a lie, that's a lie. There's another lie, another lie, another lie. Oh, there's another one. Why would you put that out when it's just full of lies? Because you're just pissing everyone off even more. Sullivan was better off just not releasing anything or having anyone say anything.
Yeah.
At all, because he just made it a million times worse. And then as for Brady showing someone around Rush Green, what the fan base needs to understand, right? Whoever's coming in is only buying a share. And they haven't got as much percentage as Sullivan. He is still the majority shareholder. All he's doing is using this person for their money because he can't be bothered to pump his own in. They will have no say about how this club is run. It will still all be down to Sullivan. So what's the point?
I don't believe the rumor of someone being shown gold shares. I'm going to be honest. I don't. I've mentioned it twice now. I don't know if you've heard, right? But I done a space last night, and it's very ironic. Let's put it like that. It feels like someone has just crafted up a story, listened to what's been said through people that are speaking really, really well on the spaces, and this is the result. This is the result. But I'm not buying it. What rattled you the most on that letter? And I know it's going to be a hard one to sort of say because there's fucking a lot. Let's be honest.
There's so much, but I would say them, and do you know what else really wound me up as well? Not once was there an apology in there to the fans for how they've ran the club and how everything's been done. Not one apology. It was all, pat us on the back because we've spent our 450 million in 3 years. No, get out of here, right? With that nonsense. Not once Was there an apology to the fans, which there should have been? That should be exactly how you opened that ridiculous letter anyway. And not all the same bullshit. Oh, we're going to try and do better and we're changing our strategy, blah, blah. We're not, though, are we? All the time Sullivan's at the helm because he only works one way. And that's with his beloved favoured agents. Nothing is going to change. I would say probably the bit where they was about the amount of money they've invested in our training ground, that's a load of bollocks because it's mortgaged back to the bank. So what money have you been investing in there? Because we don't even own it. Barclays Bank owns it. So there's a massive lie there. Then, with all the money we've spent, all that bollocks, so why was you pleading poverty all summer? Why did we have to sell to buy? If you have such a good strategy and you're doing the best by the club, why was there all them rumours that we're breaching PSR, but your letter said that we're nowhere near it and we're staying compliant? So which one is it? Are we going to breach it? Or are we on the cut? Do you know what I mean? So there's that is in there. The 3 different bits of statement about Potter integrating a pathway for the youth team. What a load of nonsense. Why would you even put that in there when we can see our matchday squad with our own eyes? Who are you trying to lie to?
It's true. It's like, listen, I'm hearing you, yeah, because what you're saying is exactly what I've been saying for ages. So I'm just letting you land on everything you want to say at the end of the day. One thing that this man will do is his ego will get out of control. And when it does,
bad.
right, when his ego gets out of control, that's when this fucker will fall apart. And we will all be there, ladies and gentlemen. We will all be there to witness it live. Because on that statement, I just felt like when he said about the stadium and he turned around and said that the West Ham fan base should be happy in being in there, with like basically saying, well, you've got 65,000 people there week in, week out. It can't be that bad. But what he don't tell you is that the amount of people that walk away, the diluted nature of the West Ham sort of home end. And there was a clip that was on TikTok earlier on, and for some reason it's been taken off. But basically saying about Karen Brady, saying about the situation. Why are West Ham United hiring people to do with the club who are Chelsea fans, Tottenham fans, Arsenal fans? They can't.
Oh, you saw it as well.
I saw it, yeah. And
the Spurs fan that worked at our club, right?
Yeah, and it's been taken off. I've just had a look just a minute ago, right?
Hang on, because I liked it. I'll see if, because it might have been reposted a few times, but I thought you're taking the piss. Why? And even you're right though. It's gone because it's not there at all.
Yeah, and I'll show you.
Or do you think he's been threatened?
Oh, 100%.
Like that he needs to take it down? Because we know that anybody that's ever worked for Sullivan has to sign an NDA when they leave.
That's it, yeah. 100%. 100%. And what it is, he's had to take it down.
Right? Because he admitted that Brady's never there.
Brady's never there.
Never there, doesn't do her job, gets paid £1.2 million a year, never at work.
And what it was something to do with all they do is hire people that are not associated to West Ham.
Yeah.
Which is like is your kryptonite straight away. Right, if you can't tell, there's no one who can tell me that you can't find a fucking West Ham secretary. Do you know what I mean? Like I know about fucking 10 birds who are fucking who are secretaries who support West Ham. You can find fucking one of them. You've only got to go.
Do it. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, you could go and find anyone. Do you know what I mean? And yeah, obviously that's been taken down. Yeah, it's a mess.
That's actually really weird though. Now you've said that, why is that vanished?
I reckon it's because he's been told to take it down, or he's got a threat of being sued.
Yeah, I have a think because it popped up on my For You earlier, and I was watching it, and I was like, is he for real?
Yeah.
But he's baited her out, and we all knew that she was a grifter anyway and was never at work.
Well, Sullivan can try and sue me. I'm fucking skint, mate. He ain't gonna get fuck all. You know what I'm saying? So
you get a punch in the mouth. How about that?
I mean, he can take the clothes off me back. I ain't got no fucking money. I know
don't
that.
offer it to him. He'll have it.
I know, mate. I know. What do you reckon on Saturday, Jim?
is he going to show up? So this is my next thing. Is he got the bollocks to stand there and face the thousands of West Ham fans that will be lined up outside the executive entrance? Is he going to have that? I don't know,
I don't think I don't think he turns up.
No. What about Brady?
I think she does.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think she does. I think he don't. I've got a feeling that he ain't going to show up, because basically what people are going to turn around and say is that him being there could escalate the situation, i.e., for instance, right?
His face is just going to send people over the edge, isn't it?
True, right? One thing I will say is that if he turns up there and West Ham get rolled and he's in the ground, you could have a Burnley situation all over again.
Well, I was about to say, if we lose, because everyone's going to be riled up that's attended said protest, right?
Yeah.
People are going to be agitated. They're going to be riled up. They're going to be sitting in that ground thinking about how much they hate the ground, how much they hate Sullivan, how shit the team is. And then if the team do what they normally do, and that's just lazy, lackluster, can't be asked to defend properly, and we concede 1, 2, 3. And you know how we calculate. As soon as it's 1, it's 2, it's 3, it's 4, it's 5.
Yeah.
Now, imagine everybody's already going to be on edge. Everyone's going to be wound up as it is. And then if that happens, I think you're right. I think they storm the pitch in their thousands. And he's got nowhere to hide. And I know that we're not on telly in this country, but we are on telly around the world. It's just in England that we're not on telly. So then people are going to start clipping it. It's going to hit the media. Then obviously all your media outlets will start to like show clips and things like that if it does escalate that far. Did you listen to TalkSport this morning?
I did.
Did that piss you off?
Yes. Because I'll tell you what it is. I don't mind Simon Jordan. Some people can't stand him, and some people like
he hates Sullivan, so that's always a win.
One thing I didn't like about it was the way he was trying to brand West Ham fans as like militant, right, and saying that us being aggressive in our approach isn't the right way. Which, if you've got all the facts on paper and you have someone who's highly educated who's explaining the facts to him, and I'm going to shout out one man who done a video earlier on, and I listened to it, and I'm going to be straight, I don't really listen to a lot of other West Ham content creators because, like, for reasons that basically I might not agree with them and they might not agree with me, so I just leave it, yeah. But Gio's video earlier on was excellent. Harry sort of nullified everything. He went through company's house to see like accounts and things like that. He knows what he's doing. And the thing is, everyone is in the same boat now. Like we're all in the same boat, and we're all trying to paddle to fucking safety, and to get this club back on track. The issue is on Saturday, if he's in the ground and we get rolled and he gets spotted, you are going to have a Burnley situation, 100%. Because you're gonna have people who are going to go into the ground. There's going to be people outside the ground. If we're getting rolled, then it ain't going to be good. It's going to be toxic. It's going to be hostile. And I think what it is, I actually want Potter to succeed deep down, because I feel like if we sack Potter, it's Sullivan getting another fucking pass, right? And then, like, for instance, if we sack Potter, we go and get Nuno in, we go on an amazing run. Is all this going to die down with the owner? I don't think it should die down with the owner. I think the owner is the problem long term, right? But I haven't got the answers, Jem, if I'm being honest. I don't know.
Not me either, but you are right that even if we change managers and we can't keep going on that merry-go-round, by the way, appointing washed up freebies again and again and again, and just hoping that something's just going to work and it's just going to click. Because this is the big problem, and this is what West Ham fans have been talking to the media outlets about, and this is what they're starting to wake up to, is the way that we run this club, because it's not run as a sustainable business, right? Sullivan just runs it like his plaything, and that's that. At the end of the day, he doesn't care. As much as he wants to try and say he's a West Ham fan, he ain't, because he wouldn't allow what's happened to have happened. And the same with Brady as well. She's not a West Ham fan, so why does she care? She doesn't care. None of them give a fuck about us, clearly. It's all about themselves, all about how they look to the media and what their pockets look like at the end of the year, right?
Mm.
So that's what's majorly wrong. But that stadium, man, I know you've not been, and I respect you for sticking to your guns about the move and never going back until they're gone. But it has been, what's this, 10 years now? 11?
It'll be 10 years the end of the season.
10. And they've done nothing. We've got beer gardens in between in between the upper and lower tier. Name me one football ground in the world, in fact, I'm going to go global, that has beer gardens that separate their tiers. You tell me one football club that has that. Now, I could let that go if they made them that area like a safe standing zone where the fans can get an atmosphere going, they can stand up, they can sing and stuff. If you put the die-hard West Ham fans in those pockets, the atmosphere might change a little bit, but they won't do that.
What it is, yeah, and this is the thing I've been saying for ages, is it feels like you're going to an event, you're not going to a football match.
Yeah, it's awful. It's absolutely horrible. And the whole ordeal from the station to the walk to the ground to trying to get home from the ground, everything about it is just awful. Yeah,
but the thing is with the walk to the ground, if you was walking to a ground and you was happy to be there, the walk wouldn't bother people. Right? It wouldn't. It really wouldn't. If they was going, like for instance, if West Ham was done up and it was like a really beautiful stadium to be proud of, close to the pitch, it felt like you're home. A 10-minute walk ain't gonna bother no one, right? The issue is that it doesn't feel like that. It feels like a ground, and I've spoke to quite a fucking few people over the years doing this game, and everyone's seen it. I keep hearing the same thing over and over again. Basically, they're not right. They're too far away. You can't build an atmosphere. It feels like you're going to watch a game of football, but like you're not supporting the team. It's just like an event, and it's consistent. This is a consistent problem. And if we don't sort this out, and Sullivan and his media from last night was sickening, really. And I said it on the video that I done late last night, that when you are taking the piss at the fan base, it's only a matter of time before they turn around and start looking at you and thinking you're the problem. And he is the problem at the end of the day. You know what I mean? Like, is part of the major problem at West Ham right now? I don't believe so. Right? I really don't.
I think he is a problem, though.
I think he's a problem, but I think he's only 10% of a problem, though, Jem. If you want me to be real,
six wins in 10 months. The numbers do. The stats and the numbers don't lie. But again, he didn't apply. Did you know what I mean? He might have applied for the job, but Brady pushed it, and Sullivan's going to use that. At some point, he's going to turn and throw her under the bus because he's got no one else to scapegoat now. Yes, the fans have had enough of Potter, but no one's angry at Potter. Do you know? It's not like, and you made a great point on your space last night. It's not like the Moyes in, Moyes out, where the fans were arguing with each other about Potter. I think we're all majority of us are in an agreement. He's not the man for the job. The results have been poor, and he doesn't win games, and it is what it is. But he hasn't really built that team. He's just had to take over a Frankenstein team.
Right.
He still doesn't have full say and control over transfers. Like, you know, Sullivan won't let people with footballing brains do footballing things. I don't know what his obsession is with getting involved in things that just don't concern him anymore. His recruitment's been piss poor for many, many years. He's been called out on it many, many times, and he still continues to just behave the way he does with our football club. It's nice to see.
The only thing I'm going to say with in regards to the Potter thing is he's walked into a situation that is a mess, right? And would you say he was fully backed in the transfer window for you, Jem?
Probably not, but I think spending 15 million on a goalkeeper that wasn't essential. It wasn't. We had bigger areas that needed fixing than goalkeeping. Ariola's fine at short stopping. Who cares if he can't play with his feet? We're not really building up from the back now anyway. Even with Hermansen, it's long ball, so that was just money that we didn't really need to spend at that time.
Yeah.
Because we needed a forward badly, and not Callum Wilson on a free kind of forward. We needed a younger striker, but then we have Callum Marshall there, and he would still rather just throw Paquetá up front and actually using someone for that position. So,
yeah, listen, don't get me wrong. Don't get me wrong. There's fucking moments where Potter's fucked up in games and he's made a howler of it. Yeah. So far this season's been a nightmare. And we're only 4 games into the season, so I completely agree with you on that. When I look at the problems at West Ham, I look at him as 10% of it. I look at him as the last problem rather than the first one. Like over the years, where I've seen it with Moyes and seen it with other people, where people will go straight at the manager and then they will forget the owner. Right? I'm not doing that anymore. Right? Because I don't care who you bring in as manager. If you've got Sullivan in charge, it's always going to be the same cycle over and over again. Every single time it's going to be the same cycle. So my problem is with the owner, right? And this is where a lot of other people are starting to see that it doesn't matter if it's Potter, Nuno, Dyche, whoever it is, it's always going to be the owner who's going to be the major problem at West Ham. And that's where the problem is. That's where the major problem is. Like, something Damien said, and I always remember, and I say it's quite a lot, yeah. I never forget when I've done a video on this platform back in January, and Potter come in, and Damien come on the platform and turned around and said about all that was a scroll in Karen Brady's phone book, and that stuck with me. Right, when he said that really did stick with me, and it will stay with me because there's no pre-planning here, right? Like, are they planning to sack Potter after Palace? I don't believe so. I don't believe so. But
that's
honest.
just, again, it's just bloody ridiculous to keep spieling that to all your little media monkeys anyway. Oh, he's got 1 game to save his job. Piss off. Because what kind of precedent does that set within the squad? Because if they're not buying into his beliefs,
Yeah,
they will go out there and they will throw the game to ensure he's getting sacked, right?
yeah.
So there's no fucking sorry for the language, but there's no authority there. Do you know what I mean? The players are on social media. They will be reading things. They will be watching streams like this. I think they are more than aware of what's going on. So when stuff like that comes out, they now have a pass to absolutely down tools. They don't even have to try now because, we can just get rid of him then and we'll try for the next, and then we'll get someone else in, and it just rinse, repeat. But Bilic, oh my God.
The only thing I will say is they know they know about the social media impact of West Ham, right? Because I know this because one of my mates was in America and he spoke to someone. I can't really name it on here because obviously it get clipped, but he spoke to someone and they said that they've got their eyes on the YouTube. They named a few YouTubers who are well in the frame, who have been on their case, and such YouTubers have mentioned it before that they're in the firing line. Now I know that for a fact. I don't know about this channel because they didn't mention. I said, "Did you ask me about this channel?" And they said, "Oh, I don't know. He's on his own fucking TV." So I thought, well, that's a result.
They need to get to know, bro.
Yeah, I can keep slagging him off then without getting fucking getting a letter through the door. But I just feel like this, I've always said this has been building up. This is building up to a point where it's going to explode. I'm hoping it doesn't explode on Saturday afternoon at 5 o'clock. That's all I'm going to say, right? If Sullivan's in that ground and the fan base are outside, because what I think is going to happen. This is what I'm surmising what's going to happen. I think people are going to protest. They're going to go down to the ground. Then they're going to split into 2 sections. People are going to go into the ground. People are going to refuse to go into the ground. Then come 5 o'clock, wherever they are, everyone's going to come out together. And then you could have a problem. So West Ham need a result on Saturday. Yeah. And I'm concerned. I really am, because obviously Saturday's a big game. If we lose that game, then I think we're in a massive relegation battle this year. There's a comment that was up here just a minute ago from DHM. Shout out to that man. He says, "True, James, but we still need a better manager right now, or we're going down." I agree. to a point. I really do, but there's no guarantee that whoever we get in is gonna be an instant hit straight away. This is the problem, right? We're in a situation where if we sack Potter, fine, sack him, but you've got to bring someone in who's going to hit the ground running straight away. Like you can't have a manager coming in and need a transfer window and this and that. Otherwise, we're just going to be like one step forward, two steps back. And we could be like Watford at the end of the day, Jim. Just keep sacking managers every 18 months. So,
Well, but then you go back to the owners about their poor planning
yeah.
and basically all the gear and no idea. They've got a massive fan base. They have their big ass stadium. They have in brackets, elite training ground that they've pumped loads of money into, which is just an outright lie. But we'll move on from that. They've got, we're the Academy of Football, so we should have an academy that's got very good players in it, ready to come into the first team. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So why keep going for they go for like the same but different managers. Do you know what I mean? So they'll build like this squad for like one person, and then they're like, get someone that's a bit similar to them, but actually they're not, because now we've got all these players. How many players in our current team could play for any type of manager, would you say?
There's not many. Well, I'll tell you this as a prime example, right? The back five has been picked by 5 different people. So, and Jay come out with that the other week, and I was like, yeah, wow. Wan-Bissaka was picked by Sullivan. Tadibo was Steiden. Kilman was Lopetegui. Who's the other centre half? Who's in there? Mav.
Steiden.
You got he's another one, right? You got but at the time Aguerd was playing, so you had Aguerd who was picked by Moyes to a point. You got Diouf who's picked by Macaulay. Like, it's just a mess. It's just a simple mess with no structure in behind it. Now, the only way for me that Sullivan gets this fan base on board is if he was to turn around and say, right, we're going to consider our position at the end of the season, right? And we understand the situation. By that letter coming out yesterday, he's not taking no accountability for the last 10 years, which tells me that we have got a battle on our hands. It's the fan base versus the ownership. This is it now, and there is no plan in place.
Nah, but he ain't going to win. I can tell you that for free.
I agree with this comment from Anthony. Shout out to Anthony. I hope you're well, mate. There's no plan. They wing it every season, which is true. Right? They blag it every year. They come out with the same crap every year. And it's a worry. It's a worry. Like, I just hope West Ham have enough. I spoke to someone last night. I spoke to a Palace fan. I've done a Palace opposition preview, and shout out to Rich. Rich, come on. And I asked him a question. I said, do you reckon we'll go down, Rich? He said, I think you will just have enough to get out of there. But he said, if you don't sort it out as soon as possible, right? He said, you could go. Like he said, like, what it is, he said, with West Ham, you look at the players that they've got and you look at the names that they've got, everything should be fine. We should stay up. I don't buy that. I never have done. Ever since 2003 when we went down, and I witnessed that relegation firsthand as a 16-year-old kid. That was one of the hardest relegations I've ever witnessed. Do you know what I mean? I've witnessed 2. I don't want to witness another one. Obviously, in 2010, 2011 season when we went down, we were shit. We deserved to go down. But in 2003, when we had some of the best youngsters coming through the ranks, that was heartbreaking. And I just don't want to see this club go down, if I'm being honest, Jem.
No. It's a real possibility, though.
It is.
The Sunderland are going to stay up. So someone, a Premier League team, is going to have to go. So that's us. That's Wolves. That could be Forest. Under Ange. I mean, he nearly relegated Spurs. Like, let's not. We can take the piss out of that, but that's a poor appointment for Forest. Yeah. I don't know what they were doing with that. Nuno was fine. Well, I mean, I know but this is the thing, yeah. Everyone's like, get Nuno. But if you look at his track record, all he does is talk shit about board members and ownerships and walks out on clubs when things are not delivered that he was promised to be delivered. Sullivan will never employ someone like that. And I know
So,
Sullivan's a fan of his brand of football and stuff, but his attitude and how he behaves in the media and stuff, Sullivan will never hire a manager like that. He needs someone that will take the blame and be the fall guy. That's not Nuno. He will not do that. He will happily sit there saying, well, they promised me this and they haven't given it to me.
and you know what? You are spot on that. You are, because Sullivan, and I do think this break clause is going to come into play here. I really do. Because I think the break clause will basically make Sullivan's mind up for him to a point. Because if West Ham are in a safe-ish position, just say for example, come Christmas, West Ham are 13th in the league, right? They're not looking like they're far enough away from relegation, but they're not going anywhere higher than say 9th. Sullivan ain't sacking him.
Nah,
Right.
no way.
Right? Because what he'd do, he will use that break clause against us. He'd go, right, I ain't going to sack him. I've got no reason to sack him. I will wait to the end of the season when we can have a discussion about it and then see if I want to change or he wants to change, and then we'll go from there. That's the only thing I worry about. The only way I think Potter gets to sack, like within the next, say, 6 weeks, is if West Ham get piped every week. If West Ham get hammered at Palace, hammered at Everton, rolled at Arsenal.
Oh, no, it's Brentford, isn't it?
No, it's Arsenal, and then you've got the games coming up after that. Right, in October we've got some big games: Brentford, Leeds in there, and we've actually got Brentford and Leeds in the space of 4 days. We've got Brentford on the Monday night, which is the boycott night,
And then
we've got
Leeds on the Friday, ain't we?
and then Leeds on the Friday night at Ellen Road,
Yeah.
which is going to be massive. So
Well,
you know,
a proper ground with proper fans that can make a really good atmosphere, which will be their 12th man to help them stay up. We don't have such luxuries. This is the fucking problem, is any wins that we get are going to be away from home. We do not win games of football at home. Potter's last win at home was February.
against
It's
Leicester, I
nearly
think it was.
October. Yeah, it's nearly October. Like,
I know, I know, mate.
because there's
Christmas
no
is coming.
It's woo, Merry Christmas. What's going to be our present, do you reckon? Sullivan resigning?
I hope so, mate. I'll get to this comment quickly. There comes a point where when a club is run so poorly, whether the manager is in the dugout at any given time, is a good or bad indifferent, it becomes practically irrelevant. Need these rogues out sharp. I completely agree, mate. Shout out to you, Martin. I completely agree on that. That's why my attitude with the managers at the minute. Listen, I'm going to be straight. I don't really care about the fucking manager. I'll speak the honest truth, because the manager for me is 10% of it. Like I've always said, like,
Yeah.
because let's put it this way, right? Before I let you go, right? If you was to get rid of Sullivan, say Sullivan was to leave and a new owner was to come in, or Kadinsky took over. Let's just use let's use a bit of thinking outside the box a little bit. I can guarantee you, Kadinsky will go out and try and find the best in class. He will not go out and find the cheapest in class. He will try and find the best in class, whether that's and it will. West Ham need something to galvanise the fan base up, right? And I don't think there is anything that Sullivan can do that can galvanise his fan base up. Do you know what I mean? It would have to be literally a miracle, right, for him to go out and get someone who's going to come in and literally change the game, who's a free agent. I just don't see it. I really don't.
Well, there you go. You said them key words again. Free agent.
Yeah.
Has to be a free agent.
Give us your scoreline for Saturday, Jim.
1-1.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think a ball draw. Not going to lie. Palace, they've lost some big players and they have quite a few injuries in the midfield.
Mm.
And our midfield, as long as Ward-Prowse doesn't play, we're going to be all right. Because obviously Souček can't, although he offers more than Ward-Prowse with goals and with heart. So I'm thinking it should be obviously a flat midfield three like we all bloody want. Magassa, and then you got Paqueta and Fernandez as your eights. So you got your 6, you got your 2 8s. I don't think we need to play with a 10 because we need to protect that back line. They are unbelievably vulnerable. But the good thing about Magassa is he can play at centre back as well. So hopefully he has some aerial presence about him, because Kilman needs to come out. I would say put Igor in, but if you look at his aerial stats, they are just as bad as everybody else's. Tadibo, I don't know what's happened with him. No one said anything about him being injured or nothing. The Wan-Bissaka thing's odd. What's happened there?
What was the
Because
game?
Potter's saying he's got stomach issues.
Yeah, he's
So
probably
he left
got.
the match day squad last week with some. So he's still got the shits a week later. I'm not buying that. I'm sorry. I'm
Mate,
sorry.
the truth will set you free, right, Jem? I'm going to let you go. Right, take it
All right,
easy.
guys. Yeah, take it easy. See you later.
All the best. That's been Gemma. My final thought on this video, and I really appreciate everyone who's sort of come on at their say tonight, and also in the chat, is basically Saturday's big. Saturday's big, like protests and boycotts and everything that's coming up. It's just sad. We've got a fight on our hands, and it's with a little geezer who's upstairs with an. I think I think we will win this fight though. Yeah, because I think that when he starts seeing his brand falling apart around him and the fan base not there and the fan base sticking together, which West Ham United does come into play on that. I think we will win the day with him. But it's just sad, really, man. Honestly, whoever's putting out fake propaganda though, in regards of this gold sort of showing people around Rush Green and the gold shares needs to seriously get a fucking life. I'm going to be honest. And I've got an idea who I think it is. And I will draft something up where I will fucking expose them for what they are. But we'll see. All right. Anyway, that's enough from me. Take it easy out there. Yeah. Be safe, be well. And I will see you soon. Take it easy. Smash a like on the video. Also, don't forget, you know what I mean? Subscribe to each on his own TV. Peace.